Alrighty, like I mentioned, this is a good place to start some nail art. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually start getting ready to start applying some nail polish to here. I didn't actually do a top coat. I wanted to and just like call it quits, but I'm definitely going to push through. I love having nail art. You know me, I always have something crazy on my nails. So let's go ahead and get started with that. I sent you a number of these guys here. Beautiful, beautiful sets of nail polishes. I absolutely love these. I can't even begin to say how much I love these. So I actually think I'm going to be using Bazillionaire. Yeah, kind of apt, I know, I understand, I get the jokes. But this is beautiful, beautiful polishes. Not only are they extremely opaque, but they have a pretty revolutionary brush tip. So one thing you may have noticed from using nail polishes is the brush tips tend to be round or square. These are not. These are at, oh my God, I just painted my finger. Anywho, these are a nice angle. And honestly, this really helps get in those cuticle spots that are so small. So I have two different techniques that I'm actually going to show you. God damn it, I'm an idiot. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to paint my thumb because it's going to be easiest to demonstrate on my thumb how this is going to look, okay? And I have two methods for you here. You can use just the paint and the brush, or you can use this guy, which I've sent you one of. So you have two different brushes that are going to be wonderful, wonderful, wonderful assets in this. So you're going to either use your detail brush or you're going to use your liner, depending on how small the area you're trying to get into. And I'll explain here in a second. So make sure you have this little pad next to you. These are little wax papers, actually used for dentistry, oddly enough, but definitely have this next to you. This is a great training tool for mixing custom colors and just for having a palette, disposable palette, so you're not constantly wiping on this gel and making a big mess. So make sure before you start, and this is what I actually do, still now as a pro, I still put a dollop of my polish that I'm going to be using on my little pad here. So I'm gonna put my pad right here. Hopefully that's still in frame. Yep. All right, and so I tend to use my liner brush because it is a little larger. And you'll see here in a minute why this is important. So sometimes I can actually do a fantastic job on this. Sometimes I'm awful, and depending on how bad my hands are shaking that day, or you know, if I have like too many fucking Red Bulls or something, or I just didn't sleep well, or I haven't eaten, my hands will start shaking. So definitely make sure you're at a point where your hands aren't going to be shaking. So what we're going to do is we're going to, of course, have our large cure lamp ready for us. So we're going to start with a nice base layer of our Bazillionaire. And this guy is just, oh, those are pretty colors. Definitely really, really nice spring color. I don't know, man. I'm not really into bright colors, you know me. I like my mute colors and my dark, my black and stuff, but you know, sometimes you gotta step out of your comfort zone. So once I have a nice thin, and I'm talking thin layer, because if you put a thick layer on there, it's not going to cure correctly. So if you put a nice thin layer on here, make sure you turn your nail up as well. Get the free edge as well. Make it nice and uniform, right? So as you noticed, I left a full ass empty spot here. And then there are some spots along the side of my nail that are also open. And honestly, right now, the way I'm positioned with this camera and everything like that, I don't feel comfortable going in with my brush without flooding my cuticle. And honestly, it's probably one of the most devastating and disheartening things that I know in nail art, which is flooding your cuticle, because I know you can use your little orange stick to kind of wipe out that area. You could even wipe the whole nail down and do it all over again with like a little lint-free wipe and your blue liquid, your cleansing liquid, excuse me. So you can definitely do that. Again, you can also use your little scrapey tool here, dude, but it is just so difficult to get paint out of there once it's in there. So try your hardest not to get paint in your cuticles. So again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix up some of this paint with my liner brush. And I'm actually going to support my finger with my other fingers and go right in here with my liner brush and get as close as I can to my cuticle as I possibly can, right? And this is gonna take a lot of practice. I'm not gonna lie, this has taken me a lot of practice. I actually just started implementing this about a year or two ago. Otherwise, I've been doing it freehand like an absolute idiot the entire time. Oof, man, my fingers are shaking because I'm hanging my hand over my arm over the table to get this done, so. Get as close to the edge as you're comfortable with, okay? So there you go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful application, okay? If you notice that there is a lip here from putting too much product, just blend it out with your brush. Just kind of like blend it out. Hold that shit upside down and it'll start to level itself out. Like I said, again, this is self-leveling products. So they will start to make this beautiful cone shape and then you'll end up with a gorgeous nail. Okay, once you have that where you want it, cure. All right, so I'm back, finished curing. One thing that you'll note, if you do put too thick of a layer of gel polish on there, you're gonna notice some wrinkling and it's gonna look weird. It's gonna look like there's actual wrinkles in your nail polish, which is very unsightly. And not only is it unsightly, it is unsanitary. So the reason I say it that way is because that means it's uncured underneath the wrinkles. So one way to prevent that is by putting on a base coat, a clear rubber base coat, which is something I also sent you. I don't tend to use it if I have a nice base that I've done with filing and everything like that. I know that I didn't create any divots or valleys with my nail file. Then I'll skip the base coat. But if I know I did kind of a rough job or a quick job with filing, and I know I created some divots, you know, here and there and everywhere, then I'll definitely use my base coat. But for the most part, I'm gonna go ahead and go straight in with some art or my nail polish color. So for this instance, I think I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of nail art to this as well. Pull out the next lightest one. This one's called Amazonia. You may want to give these a little bit of a mix because I know you haven't used them before. So give them a little bit of a mix. You're not gonna have to mix them all crazy. You're not gonna hear anything tink, tink, tinking around like you would a traditional nail polish. So again, I take a little bit of this guy and I bloop it right there on my little pad. And I set that guy aside. So let me move this over here. So as you can see, it's not a big color variation, but it's a little bit of one. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to pick up my detail brush. This guy's going to come in handy here in a second. Oop. And I'm gonna go ahead and gather a little bit of polish and I'm gonna paint the edge. You're gonna see where I'm going here in a second, but bear with me here for a second. And I'm just kind of demonstrating this just to show you how quick nail art can be done. I paint my edge, I paint my free edge. And also, if you want your nail polish to be a little darker, a little less opaque, definitely you want a solid color, you can do a second or even a third layer of your base coat color, which was the bazillionaire there that we used. But in this instance, I'm not really finding a use for it. So what I'm hoping this is going to end up okay, because I'm putting this in a weird angle. There we go. This might be a better angle. So make sure you're not adding too much product there, because the edge, the free edge of the nail tends to be the thinnest. So if you add more product there, that's where you end up with a really thick looking nail, and you don't really want that. So and just a note, if you grab too much polish on your brush, it looks kind of bulbous and weird. Just take your brush and roll it and pull. Do you see that? I'm kind of pulling that, and it makes the brush thinner. Make sure you're doing that with some of your finer artwork, like what I'm doing here. And then make sure you kind of like support your drawing hand or art hand on another finger or on the table or something. And so I'm gonna go ahead and stop. I'm gonna go ahead and stop because I don't like the way it's looking. So this is actually gonna happen a lot, which is fine. I actually like the idea that I have, but I'm gonna stop for the moment. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my blue, and I'm gonna put it on a lint brush, or a lint-free wipe, and I'm gonna wipe it off. Look at that, brand new. Like nothing ever happened. But I'm gonna go ahead and give it a better effort. Okay, and then once you're happy with how it looks, go ahead and nuke it. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with the way that looks. I know it's a weird design, definitely not something that most people would wear, but it's something that, I don't know, I kind of was drawn to. And something easy. Flames are super easy to do. And so once you're 100% cured, you can grab your Extreme Shine top coat, throw that on there, and then you'll be done. Again, if you're not 100% comfortable with taking this all the way to your cuticle, you can do what you did with the paint, which is drop a little bit on your palette and then go all the way to your cuticle with one of your fine brushes. Okay, so once I'm done here, I like to kind of hold it upside down for a second. Make sure you get your free edge with your top coat. If you're seeing anything underneath here as well that you don't want, just take one of your flat brushes, maybe your round gel brush, and just pull that shit out of there and put it on a lint-free wipe. And just hold it, and it gives you the most flawless look. Holy shit. Okay, and nuke it. Okay, and so what we have here is a nice, beautiful, and flawless nail. So what you would do really at this point is either decide if you want to put more to this, which I'm not. I'm just kind of leave it blank. You know me, I like stuff a little more simplistic. But grab some cuticle oil. Excuse me, sorry about the blur there. And put that in there. A beautiful, flawless look. Definitely something that's really pretty. And I actually wanted to show you a different trick as well. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to paint my index finger the bazillionaire color, the one that we use, the dark green as well. And I know that this is also pretty big right now, I guess. And it's been big for the last couple decades, which is a French tip, a traditional French tip. However, I don't do much traditional anything when it comes to my nail art. So things are just kind of a little out there. You know, my work is just kind of weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you a different technique for just a nice French tip. Let me make sure I'm in frame here. Yeah, I'm good. So I'm taking that darker green again, and I'm painting this guy in and making sure that I get nice and close to my cuticle. Remember, thin layer of this paint. You're not going to need a lot of it. Again, very saturated color. So go ahead and get this nuked. All right, we're back. So I've got it all nuked, everything's nice. So I think the cool thing about this is if I fuck something up at this point, I can just wipe it off like I just showed you earlier. If it was a design I wasn't really feeling, or it was something I didn't really like, definitely take an opportunity to take it off. Just a lint wipe and some blue liquid, or your cleansing liquid. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna show you a traditional French. It's actually a lot more complex than you would think. So actually what I think I'm going to do, and it's easier done with the liner brush, I'm gonna take my liner brush and I'm gonna clean it. I'm gonna use the lighter, paint here, and that is your Amazonia. And so this is actually a little more difficult, like I said, than you think. So I found that this is one of the easiest ways to do it. So bear with me. What you're gonna do is you're actually gonna make a dot. Boop. This is where you're gonna want your French to begin. You're gonna put 2 dots along the side. Boop. And boop over here. And this is going to create a called smile line. So you're basically going to take a nice swooping motion here, and you're going to connect those dots together. Boom. So you have yourself a nice smile line here. And also, if you don't particularly like the way your smile line is looking, if you want it to be deeper, or if you wanted it to kind of be a different shape, I'll show you how to fix that here in a second. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and take the nail polish that I was actually just using from the bottle, because I've noticed that this is a nice smoother application at this point. So take a little bit of my polish, just fill that in all the way up to the line that I just created. I'm going off camera and I'm sorry. Yep. And then any spots that you wanted to hit, I try not to go so close over here with my brush because it's really big. So I take my little liner brush and I just kind of fill it in here. There you go. You got yourself a nice smile line. And I know I may have done some of that off camera and I apologize. But again, if you don't like where you're going, you can take your round gel brush, dip that in some of your blue, I guess blue liquid, I keep calling it, but your cleansing stuff. And then you're just going to swoop, wipe that excess on a lint-free wipe. And you go ahead and keep fixing that the way you want it. And if you can see, oops, got a nice smile line going there. See what I mean? But do you see how it's kind of square? Oops, excuse me. Here, you can take your brush, get right in there, and sharpen that up. You see that? Okay, so once you're happy with your smile line, you can go ahead and cure. All right, and once you have cured, you're gonna wanna go ahead and go in with a nice top coat. And this is just a nice look. I'm definitely not gonna leave it like this. The reason being is because I never do anything this plain, or, you know, plain. I mean, it's gonna be the easiest way to say it. I don't ever do anything plain like this. So grab a beautiful top coat. Don't forget your free edge on this either. And make sure you didn't go too heavy on your paint so you're not creating a lip right there, because that can be seen through your top coat. Make sure you grab your free edge here. And then just for an extra precaution and something that I like doing, just hold my finger upside down for a minute and make sure that I got a nice uniformed C going. And then cure. All right, so we're all done with a nice little French tip that we got going on there. You know, I'm not gonna call it flawless, but to me it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna go ahead and paint the rest of these, and we'll go ahead and top coat. So I really, really want to take an opportunity to probably do a different video of nail art, I guess ideas and tactics and just tricks that I've learned over the years of me doing this. This is just, you know, some pretty simple stuff here, basics, if you will. But I know that one of the basics definitely is a nice French tip, and another is just a quick design along the free edge. So both of those are relatively easy, as long as you have the skill and the tools you need and the patience. And I think that's really going to be the key here, is the patience, because it's really going to take you a hot minute to learn to have a steady hand, to learn to be patient, and just kind of using the tools that you have on hand, and what shortcuts can be, and then what things that are required for you to move forward and have a good manicure, essentially. So really what you can do is just do an endless amount of things. There's so many different things that you can do with this stuff here. So there's a couple things that I'd like to show, but I'll go ahead and I'll show those in a separate video. But you can definitely get nail stickers from Amazon. You can get nail vinyls, and then just put those on top of your beautiful work that you've done, and then just do another top coat on top of that, and of course you'll be set. But the ones that I particularly love is from a brand that's from Germany. I particularly love the stuff there. It does take a little while to get here, but I'll go ahead and show that here in a second, actually, to show you how easy it works. All right, so I'm back and I'm about to show you some other cool tricks. So another thing I use, this is from Odin Nails. These are straight from Germany. So I try not to use them very often. They are kind of expensive. Each sheet of these probably runs me about, I'm gonna say $15 to $20, because they're really high quality nail decals, but they're very easy to work with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to use something like this. These definitely ordered from Amazon. You can get these way cheaper, way easier. But if you ever want to check this person out, Etsy, Odin Nails, pretty expensive, but totally worth it. Cool shit. So what I do is I end up taking a couple of my lint-free wipes here. I soak them in water. And you'll see why here in a second. I'm gonna paint the rest of my nails and I'll come back. Okay, so I have a beautiful set of painted nails. Really not my flavor, you know, but of course I wanted to show you the beautiful colors that I sent over to you. I think you're pretty well aware. I don't usually use typical colors. I tend to come in with a couple different ones and I mix them together. I make several different colors that are custom to what my vision is. But again, completely up to you. You can go on the Apres website and pick out any colors that you like there. They're a little pricey, but definitely worth it. But then again, most gel polishes that I've looked into are very pricey. They range anywhere from $25 to $45 a bottle, depending on what you're looking at. So they can be a bit pricey. And the cheaper ones, the ones that you are finding on Amazon, the ones that you are finding on like eBay and stuff like that, aren't good. I would not suggest them. There are unknown products inside of them, and there are definitely some disparities when it comes to curing agents that are inside of them. And there's just some, you know, really fishy stuff that's going on some of those products that are sold on Amazon. So I would just kind of stay away from anything that's going to be soaking into you, such as the cleansing fluids or any of the soak off fluids, cuticle oils, or nail gels. I would definitely stay away from purchasing those from shady places like Amazon or eBay. However, more reputable places that this is their bread and butter, like the gel bottle, or Apres. I know that those tend to be pretty wonderful. However, keep in mind, you have to be a licensed professional to purchase them. So reach out to me if you find any colors that you like and I can purchase them for you. And we can kind of go from there. Either way, just about to show you another thing that I do like to do with my nails as well when they look a little more like blank. Like I said, the water decals. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab a couple from here. I have my cute little scissors here, and I'm just going to grab a couple from here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with them next. All right, so I picked out a couple that I have over here, and I'm going to push them down into my water-soaked lint-free wipes here. And really what I like to do is make sure that they're nice and saturated. And I usually tend to do this with a pair of tweezers. So once I see that they're starting to curl, that means that they're ready to be pulled off of their paper. So what you can do is you can actually pick that up and you can actually slide it with your finger off. Or you can just kind of pull it off with your tweezers, which is what I'm going to be doing here. Grabbing the edge, boom, pull that off. And I'm gonna put that right there. Boop, 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 boop. And I can put it on with my finger. Remember, this is still a tacky layer because I haven't put my top coat on there yet. So I'm gonna grab my little rose, do a little slide and grab. And I'm also going to put that guy, oh shit. Don't let him get too far from you, because they won't stick. Okay, so I've got that going. Looks pretty good. At least I like the way that looks. There is a little bit hanging off here, and if that does happen, you grab your nail file and you just kind of file that off. But push those guys in there. I have a couple other ones over here, and I'll come right back and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. All right, as you can see, I have a nice set of nails going here. I felt like the flowers were a bit so I added some graffiti to them as well. So I like the way these look. These turned out really, really nice. Definitely just added a clear coat onto them. Add some cuticle oil. And once I see the cuticle oil go onto my fingers, that means it's all done. All of my hard work has paid off. And I can have a moment of happiness. I'm probably gonna change that one, but whatever. For now, moment of happiness because I finished a set, but I have a whole nother hand I have to work with. So I need to take my Cartier ring off, and then bam, I got a whole nother hand to work with. So this is actually going to be the second part where we remove this, and that's going to be a whole nother process because it does take a minute. I think you know, and you're pretty familiar with how it is to take it off. There's a couple different methods that I've used on you in the past to take off gel and to take off acrylic and things like that. But for now, this is our nice done set. We've worked all the way from the bottom, made our way here, basically from our all natural nails, and then work to protect them as best as possible. So when we do have dope art like this on our nails, nothing happens to our natural nails. Everything is safe and secure underneath, and we can be rest assured that there will be no infections or any bacterial infections that can occur here, or any mold or weirdness that can happen under the nails, because we've applied them in a way that there are no bubbles, there are no cracks or crevices where anything can go into the nail and cause issues. So this is our finished set. All right, well, this has definitely been a process. Like I said in the very beginning, this is a lengthy process. Not for the faint of heart, not for folks who aren't patient and willing to go through some bumps along the way. I know I've been doing this for quite some time now, and definitely still run into some situations where I just want to rip my fucking hair out, and hopefully my nails pop off along with it. But you know, just as long as you're patient, as long as you take your time and you're gentle on yourself in terms of critique, you're going to be okay. I know that it's very difficult to try and overcome that when you're really frustrated. I know when I'm really frustrated, when I can't get a look to come out the way I want it to, when I'm just at the end of my wits, that's where I think that it's a good opportunity to take a break. I think you've seen it where I've taken days-long breaks, or I just keep my basic ass nails for, you know, a couple weeks longer than you normally would see me with basic nails, because I'm just frustrated, I'm over it. But as long as you keep at it, I think that's really the ultimate goal here, is really trying to get familiar with these products. They're very difficult to work with, and then finding your groove and a rhythm where you can have, you know, a dope set where you're walking around and people can compliment you, and you're just happy with something that you've done for yourself. And it's an interesting, creative, and cathartic outlet for me. It's really calming once you can get it right. And the thing is that you can go as slow or as fast as you want to, based on how comfortable you are with how things work with you. So I implore you to stick with it. Be patient, be kind to yourself along the learning process, and we can pick this up whenever we gotta do this hand next, which is taking all this shit off. It's a process to put it on, it's a process to take it off. So not as long, it's just going to be time consuming, and I think you know that, to take these off and then kind of work from there up. So definitely been a process, especially for me, kind of learning how to film my nails, and I'll try to get better, I promise. And I can't find all of my recording equipment that I used, but I'll figure it out. So if you have any questions, or if you have any concerns, or if there's anything that you're thinking about along the way as you're watching this video, oddly enough, comment down below, and like at the moment. So what I can do is definitely take a look at what moment or time frame in the video that you're having questions on, and I can go back and then I can make clarifying videos, or just answer those questions really quick, or just put up a short, you know, something really quick for you to refer to. And yeah, it's been a process. I'm gonna try to keep learning, so I can help you along the way. I know that it's really difficult to learn this on your own. I know that I've been learning on my own for as long as I can remember. So again, I have to make note of it. I'm not a licensed professional. I've definitely been self-taught, and it's been a really long journey. So everything that I know and everything that I do teach is going to be, something that came out of here or something that comes directly from the manufacturer's website or from some of the research that I've done on my own. I really, really implore you to use some of those tactics that I showed you, or, go onto those websites where you have products from. Do your research. It's really important for you to understand what you're using and what you're putting on and in your body, because your fingers are near your mouth. This does, seep into your skin, or, as much as we don't want to think about it, it is, it's dangerous. So you need to be careful with what you're doing, and you need to understand with what you're working with. But I'm here to help. If you have any questions, or you have any concerns, or if you need help with anything or any of the processes, or if you just wanted me to show you a little more detail on any of the processes, just let me know, and I'm happy to help. I'm going to try and to get different angles on how to apply the nails, so I can post those to you as well, because I know that is going to be one of the bigger issues, which is going to be working with the Extend Gel. This stuff is very unforgiving. A lot of the stuff is very unforgiving, so be kind to yourself, be patient, and I think everything is going to turn out okay. The next video that you're going to see me in, of course, is going to be removing the nails. It's going to be a little less lengthy because, of course, we covered a lot of the dangers and all of the weird knick-knack information in the beginning of this, which was the application, and that's where a lot of the dangerous stuff is. But again, there's quite a bit of information you need to know about the soak-off process and these chemicals, because they're very harsh, and it's really dangerous for things that are around you, animals, people, all that stuff. So just keep that in mind. Let me know if there's anything that you have more interest in, or if there's a particular nail art style that you want to learn first, let me know. Of course, these are things actually I didn't include in the kit that I sent to you, but I should have. These guys here, they're the nail tips, and I think you've seen them before. I've done quite a bit of my work on them previously. So these guys are super dope to work with. They're all of like $3 or $4 on Amazon. I suggest you go grab a couple of these, because this is a really, really great tool for you to learn on as well. Again, take your nice chunky nail file, take the softest side, scuff this shit up, and you can do just about anything on these things. You can add, you can add extensions to them. So if you want to practice extension application, you can put this on here and create an artificial extension for yourself, so you can learn the process of how some of these products work. You can also practice some of your nail art on these things as well, or ideas or cool things that you see on TikTok or on Instagram, or just something that you have in mind, because I know sometimes that my mind starts ticking and I start thinking something and I want to put that down as art. So cool that you're getting involved in this, but please be careful. It's dangerous. But other than that, I guess I'll see you in the next one. So just a little bit behind the scene. This is what it looks like. I promise that this is going to be messy. It's not the cleanest, you know what I mean? So again, just make sure you have a good work environment, a big work environment. You're gonna make a mess, but fuck it, you know what I mean? Art.